Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omog. We're coming up on the program. The Super Falcons of Nigeria will be up against USA later tonight at 2 a.m. Nigerian time in the U.S. Summer Series. It's going to be a tough test for the Super Falcons because they're yet to win a game in the Summer Series, losing to Jamaica in the first game. The second one was a draw against Portugal, and USA haven't lost in the last two games. Will be a tough test for the Super Falcons tonight. Also on the program, France, Mats Hummels scored an own goal, and that was enough for France to edge out Germany 1-0 at the Euros. And also we'll be talking the NBA this morning, where the Brooklyn Nets taking Game 5. It was all about Kevin Durant, who put up a monstrous performance on the night with a triple-double, making history on the night. As a result, they lead the series 3-2. Okay, and of course, we're starting off with the NBA this morning, where Kevin Durant was all over, everywhere. In terms of steals, in terms of blocks, in terms of rebounds, in terms of points, and of course, in terms of assists, he was everywhere. Starting with the results from the NBA last night. Just one game in the Eastern Conference where, of course, the Brooklyn Nets, the team that is expected to win the championship because they are favorites for this, beating the Milwaukee Bucks by 108 and 114. Now, in the first half of the game, it was all about Milwaukee because they were leading by 16 points. But then James Harden, who actually headlined the game before it started because he was fit to start, he was not at his best. All the balls that were given to him, he couldn't find the net most times, so he ended up on the night with 5 points after playing about 40 minutes. But then Kevin Durant had to take over in the second half, and he put up that monstrous performance, scoring as much as 47 points on the night. And of course, not just 47 points. How many assists and rebounds? 17 assists and 10 rebounds, which was huge for him on the night. For Giannis Antetokounmpo, he had 34 points and 12 rebounds, another double-double for him, but it just wasn't enough. Chris Middleton contributed 25 points, and they led as much as 59-43 at halftime before the Nets had to rally to win that game. Now, James Harden coming back from hamstring injury, he struggled on the night. But then, as I mentioned earlier, his teammate has to steal the show. 49 points he ended up, 17 rebounds and 10 assists. And that's how he was able to do that for them to fight off that back-to-back losses they suffered in Milwaukee. Of course, we know Game 6, the series head back to Milwaukee right now for Game 6. But then, Durant did not even miss a minute at the Barclays Center. I think this is actually the first time since Kobe Bryant did it in 2001, where you're having a player scoring as much as 40 points game, and also playing 48 minutes plus. He played 48 minutes on the night, and he ended up with 47 points. How huge was that? Let's listen to him, what he had to deal with, especially having James Harden, who was coming back from injury, not fully fit. Of course, James Harden also thinking of how they will be able to just make it up and see if they can seal this in Game 6 in Milwaukee.
I was a little nervous for him because he hasn't played in a while, and it's a physical team, and his hamstring is one of those injuries that, it takes a while to heal. But he came out there and toughed it out, and had 8 assists, 6 rebounds. Missed some good looks all night, and I know his legs gonna get back under him over, as time, next few days or so. So hopefully next game he start to knock some of those shots he usually make down. And we got our work cut out for us in Game 6, man. It's gonna be the toughest game of the year. We trust James Harden the ball and setting people up so much that we probably put too much on him in that first half. But I think he settled down in the second, got his legs, got his rhythm, and I was able to help him a little bit as well, handling the ball. So did Landry, so did Bruce, so did Jeff. I think we all took turns, so we're gonna need that going forward.
At this point, it's by any means necessary. As long as there's a W on that column, and we keep racking up wins, that's all that matters. So, obviously KD had an unbelievable game, and carried us, but just Jeff, made some shots. This is a great team win for us. We haven't really had, we haven't really been together, the entire year. We've had dealt with so many injuries or whatnot that, we really haven't had an opportunity or been through adversity, so, we know that there's going to be times in the postseason, where we hit adversity, where things feel like they're up against us or they can't be done. In reality, they can be done. And we just got to find ways to get them done. And, we showed a little bit at it in that Boston series. And then even this series, it's the same thing. Like, it feels like just when things are going well, it's something hit us. And, my approach and, to the guys is, keep fighting. Like, it's always, it's going to be great on the other side. And we did that tonight. So proud of the guys.
Oh man, I don't know, man. Just keep making it tough. Obviously, one of the best scorers to ever play the game. It's tough. It's tough. Like he's the best. He's the best player in the world right now, and we gotta beat him as a team. We gotta guard him as a team. We gotta make him make tough shots like tonight, and we just gotta keep doing our job, and hopefully he's gonna miss. But we gotta keep doing our job. We gotta keep guarding him together. We gotta keep showing help, keep making it tough, keep picking him up full court. And then there's gonna be times in the game when coach tells us to double team him, we're gonna double team. But right now, we gotta keep containing him as much as possible. But at the end of the day, he's done an unbelievable job. As I said, best player in the world, best scorer in the world. We're doing our job. It's going to be nice that he's going to do what he did tonight, have 50, and it's going to be nice that we're going to try to contain him as much as possible and give ourselves a chance to be in the game and be in a position to win the game. But keep guarding him to get one guy can guard him, two guys can guard. We got to do it as a team. I want to take the challenge, and obviously everybody's going to have a chance to guard him. But I would love going to game 6 to be able to guard him. And if coach want me to do that, I'm ready for that.
Be ready for what KD can bring up. That 49 points was monstrous on the night. Well, we'll see what Giannis will be able to do in Game 6 because he's pretty upset. They could not guard Kevin Durant, and in the end of the day, they just gave him all the opportunity to put up all the points, all the rebounds, all the steals, all the blocks, filling the stats on the night. Okay, let's take a look at the top performers now. Of course, you know who they are. They just won game on the night. It's just the two players who had the very best. 49, 17, and 10 for Kevin Durant. He got upset after they lost that in Game 5. In Game 4, so he needed to put up this performance for them to be able to get into, stay in the game, and if possible, win the Eastern Conference and get to the finals. Also, of course, Giannis Antetokounmpo, 34, 12, and 4. It just wasn't enough. He had a double-double on the night, not a triple-double. But then with Kevin Durant playing like that, taking sole leadership of the whole of net game, he was just on fire. Despite getting assists from the likes of Blake Griffin, who had 17 points on the night. Jeff Green also contributed 27. But Kevin Durant was just not a player who intended to miss any points at all, especially when he got to the basket. Let's leave the NBA and quickly talk about the UFC. When we're talking about the UFC, we're always talking about Nigerians. Of course, Israel Adesanya and Kamaru Usman. He's a Nigerian doing a whole lot of CSR services and also trying as much as possible to see how he can grow the game in Nigeria. He spoke to China's television on how he intends to go about that after talking with the Minister of Sports, Sunday Dario, and also the Lagos State Governor, Babatunde Sanwo-Olu. He has spoken with them, and of course, all of them are interested in trying to see how they can grow the sport in Nigeria. Here's that exclusive interview with China's television.
Each and every time we trying to plan a trip, something comes up. Whether my parents were busy, our plans were busy, something comes up and it always interrupts the plans to come home. And so, after becoming champion in 2019, that was the first thing I wanted to do, was to run home. But then something came up again, and I had to, prepare for another fight. And then last year we planned the trip again, and I said I must come home. Unprecedented, a pandemic happened, and I couldn't come. And then with everything that has happened in the country, it was very, very difficult because once I posted that I wanted to come home, getting the feedback, no, don't come. From my own fellow Nigerians, don't come here because people are upset. People are distraught with what's going on. I said, no, there's no better time than now to go and really be around my Nigerian people. So um, the biggest thing for me is of course it was heartbreaking for me to get all that feedback, but you know, me coming home and actually being with my people, being around them, because Nigerians we have a different energy.
Yes.
You know, so so being around that energy, it's something that's special to me.
Oh, really special. Okay, now you're home. What are the plans? What are you going to do? And how long are you staying? What are the things you want to do to really know that yes, this is homecoming and something had to be done concerning maybe growing the sport in Nigeria?
Yes, well, I mean, it's one of the biggest things is coming home is having those difficult conversations with the powers that may be in order for you to really achieve and accomplish anything. And so, of course, we have a plan of what we want to do, but it's not just about growing the sport. It's about the sport, but that's because that's my lane. That is my tool right now to be able to touch, inspire, motivate, and change. And so we're gonna try, me and my team, we're gonna try to use that vehicle. Like I said, we've had the difficult conversations with the power that may be, and with them, if they give us their blessing and give us that foundation that we need, then we can start to really. My team can do their job. This is what I pay them for, to make sure that they have an amazing plan in place to be able to start those programs that could eventually help change the way we are right now.
Okay, can you be specific? Maybe what are some of these plans that your team are actually putting together?
Well, obviously, you know, for me, one of the things that actually kind of touched my heart is years ago I used to hear, of course, Twitter when we had Twitter. I would get tweets that would say, "Oh, if he was in Nigeria, would he have gone that far?"
Yeah.
And that definitely would hurt me hearing that because that shouldn't be the case. Whether I'm there or here, it should not matter. You should still be able to have that opportunity to make it as high as you want to make it. So that's something that has stayed with me. And by me being in the position that I'm in, I want to be able to come back and make sure we have those opportunities because now, Nigeria's youth there's so many of us. And a lot of people say this all the time. You can achieve it as long as you put your mind to it. You can achieve it. Well, how can you achieve something when there's no opportunity? I can put my mind to anything, but if there's no opportunity, you can't achieve it. So that's what we want to do is create those opportunities. Whether it be the academies, whether it be bringing UFC here, whether all these different things. That's what my team is responsible for, and hopefully now that we have the green light from those powers that may be, everything should be pretty fast tracked.
Interesting. We can't wait for that. Okay, what was it like? Let's talk about UFC now. What was it like watching Israel this morning in Nigeria?
Truthfully, this morning in Nigeria, so it was great. I mean, to be able to watch my fellow Nigerian in Nigeria, as many watch us, it was incredible. It was great. He went out there. He was, victorious once again and successful, which is that was very good for us. Very good for us. So it was tremendous.
Okay, I mean, you've had so many fights. You have one of the longest winning streak right now in UFC. Which one will you pick as your most important fight?
Most important fight? I would have to say winning the belt.
Okay.
That one was one of the most important because, you can work, all your life for everything, but if you never really get to the pinnacle of that sport, then we as humans we tend to just say, I can do it too. You did it, I can do it too. But when you actually get to that pinnacle of the sport and become the champion, it's a different tool. It's a different power and energy that you can use to motivate.
Okay, interesting. Moses Praise mentioned about Ogi Masvidal and what he's been. I mean, the fight we're all waiting for. More like the hype was much more than the fight because before we started watching, it was already over. What was it like in that particular fight?
That's my goal. That's my goal is to definitely make sure the hype is, you know, is bigger and than the fight. Um, it was great. I mean, that just shows the where I am compared to my opponents. I think it's my mental capabilities and my ability to deal with, and perform under that stress and pressure. I think is what sets me apart from everyone. So, being able to do it fight after fight after fight is very difficult. They say it's tough to be a champion, but it's even tougher to stay a champion. And I know that to be true right now.
It's Kamaru Usman there, just talking about UFC and also why he is home in Nigeria. He will also be visiting his home state, talking about Edo State, to also do other things there. Hopefully, we can grow the sports in the country because the interest is getting higher daily, especially Nigerians staying late to actually watch most of the fights. Israel Adesanya, everyone had to watch the fight early hours of Sunday morning, even going late to church because they wanted to see the superstar fighting. All right, we leave the UFC and come home, or rather go to Cameroon, where the Africa Women Handball Championship is taking place. Well, Team Nigeria, again, the women, they lost. This time around, it was, how do I describe the loss? It was huge, 14-44. Yes, 14-44. You heard that well. They were lost as much as by 30 points to the host nation, Cameroon, in Yaoundé. Now, the first half ended 26-3. So the girls managed just 3 points in the first half, and Cameroonians were just running away with it, scoring as much as 26 in that. But second half, they surged forward. Nigeria tried as much as possible to put on some, but it wasn't enough because they managed to have just 11 points in the second half. Of course, after losing for the second time, so it simply means Nigeria, they're out of course, they can't go further anymore. They can't get into it because this was the quarterfinals. So at the end of the day, they will only be playing a classification match against Senegal. That will be later today. So we'll see how far they can get in that one. If they're able to win it, so it simply means that, well, they will know how they will finish at the Africa Women Handball Championship. Remember, it's the first time they're featuring in this tournament since in 27, 21 years there, but more than 20 years they haven't been to this championship. But right now they're here, but they couldn't get as much as that. What is a learning curve for most of the girls who were able to take part? Because the last time Nigeria took part, some of the girls were not even born yet. But it's a learning curve for most of the players. Hopefully when they come back home, the federation will be able to do more to ensure that, well, when it comes to money, sponsorship, funding, and also competitions, you have more to get ready for competitions like this. It's supposed to help the girls to qualify for the World Cup, but now they cannot go any further. And so after the classification game, they will be coming home from Cameroon. Leaving that and quickly talk about Adopt an Athlete campaign. It's still on, and Patience Oko George happens to be the latest they've been adopted. And also, the Taekwondo is the only athlete they've qualified for the Taekwondo so far, the female, of course. Talking about Elizabeth Hianacho, both have been adopted by the African Children Talent Discovery Foundation. This is a huge step for these athletes that are going for the Olympics. So this initiative, of course, it was by the Ministry of Youth and Sports under the leadership of Sunday Diary. So it's giving opportunity for most of these athletes to be able to compete at various tournaments. So the African Children Talent Discovery Foundation, which is led by Engineer Noah, decided to adopt Patience Oko George and Elizabeth Hianacho in Henach, of course, to the tune of $10,000 each to boost their Olympic preparations. And we know Olympics, of course, is around the corner. It's starting July 23rd. Let's just listen to all the parties involved in this. Okay, that will be after this break.
adoption, it actually means you are one of us.
Yeah.
It means you are a part and parcel of ACTDF. And I want to let you understand that ACTDF is the home of champions. Yes.
So that means you must win something for us.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's no doubt. I mean, you've seen the Bull, one of the greatest in the world. You've seen Tijani Babangida. You've seen myself. I can tell you there's much more. There's Garba Lawal. There's Austin Eguavon. There's Kanu Wangpo. There's JJ Okocha. All these iconic names are all ambassadors of this great foundation. So if the foundation not only has arrays of champions, but people who are readily available to advise you, to talk with you, to share with you their experiences on your way to the top. As soon as I saw you, I saw a champion. That's how I got to know that it was you. I told my guy here.
We're always backing on all the private sectors to come on board because we need a change and it's time for a change. You did say earlier, in the last 12 to 16 months, I think Nigerians have been doing wonderfully well around the world. From basketball to track and field to other sports. Just 2-3 weeks ago, we broke a long jump record that we've been sitting since 1996.
25 years.
It's 5 years.
25 years.
It's been crazy. And that's the generation that we are. And if we have some generation, I think, like you said, Mr. Chairman, Noah Dalaje, we need more of you to showcase.
When I heard the news, I jumped up. I shout and shout and shout. I couldn't stop because this is what I've been longing for a very long time. And I promise to make this foundation proud. I promise also to make our great country, Nigeria, proud.
She's so emotional there. You understand what this really means to how many years she's been there. She's never been able to get a sponsor like this. Hopefully, this will definitely spur her on to at least finishing the podium. She's a quarter mile 400 meters as specialist. And if Nigeria qualify for the 4x400 meters relay, she will also be part of the team. And maybe the missed relay also, she will also be part of the team. All right, time to talk about what's going to happen tonight. USA and Nigeria meeting for the very first time in a friendly. Yes, this is going to be the sister meetings. In the other ones, it's been at the World Cup 5 times. Remember what happened in 1999? Yes, 7-1. That was the biggest defeat Nigeria had ever suffered against them. The others have just been 1-0 and every other thing. But Bada Kintunde Jones will join me now to talk about this. And also, Euros is here and some other things happening in the world of sport. Bada, good morning. It's good to have you.
Hi, Cecilia. Morning. Good to be here as usual.
Okay, and I'm really excited this morning to talk women's football with you. I mean, we've never done that, right? I don't think so. Okay, we haven't. Okay, now, we know the Super Falcons are in the US for the summer series. Yes, the first game, they lost to Jamaica by a lone goal. The second one, 2 own goals, one from the side of Portugal and the other one from Nigeria. And, of course, they ended up drawing that 3-3. And tonight is going to be the first time they will be meeting in an international friendlies, not the World Cup usually, where the US, of course, they have the better, of course, upper hand over the girls. What should we be expecting from Coach Randy Wardrop tonight, knowing that the first 2 games, one was a loss, the other was a draw, and the draw didn't come up until 95th minute, where Rasheedat Ajibade had to score that 9-minute goal for them to rescue a draw against Portugal.
What do we expect? Expect an experimental sort of game. It's not a World Cup final game. It's not an Olympic game. It's a tune-up friendly. It's a tune-up tournament at best. But we're playing clearly the best female football team in the world. And they've been for a very long time. The United States female national team is the sternest test for anyone in world football. So I expect that, we will see the true measure of just how well our team can play against top quality opposition. Like you said, against Portugal, they made mistakes, but they showed great character to be able to come back from 3-1 down, I think. But against the United States, expect them to be stretched a lot more, expect them to be a lot more on the back foot. United States women's team will dominate play, they will create chances in abundance. They're a very solid team. They're a very great team to watch. A team that has always played on the front foot. And so I think if there's any feature of that game, it will be Nigeria being on the back foot for the most part and looking to maybe spring counters and using the pace of Asisat Oshoala, who, it must be said, alongside the defender, was her name now? Nebi, came into came in to join the team after they played the first game and lost to Jamaica. I thought the loss to Jamaica was surprising. I would have expected the Falcons to be able to take care of business, but they didn't. But like I said, it was a remarkable sort of comeback they showed against the Portuguese. But their biggest test so far is going to be tonight against this United States team that has won it all, done it all, and without a doubt is the biggest test any side can face in world football, talking women's football.
Yeah, it's going to be the biggest one because U.S. this year, 27 goals they've scored, just one draw. They haven't lost. Of course, they're ranked #1 in the world. Let's listen to Coach Randy Wardrum talking what he wants to do to ensure that the girls are able to at least maybe pick up something from the Americans.
I think we all know and respect the U.S. and what they bring to women's football. But I would expect our players to do nothing short of what they did the first 2 games. That's to compete to the best of our ability all the way to the very end. And like I said, I think we will go in, we'll be confident in the way we want to play, and we'll certainly be doing our best. And not only have they not conceded, but they've got a 41-game winning streak, I believe, if I'm correct on that. And, you know, I think we've got the players that can do that with Ashishat, Franny, you know, Rashid. We have so many attacking weapons that I think will create opportunities. It'll be just a matter of us being focused to finish because we won't get the number of chances that we normally do. So we'll have to take advantage of those few that we get. We had a word with her after the last game. I think she was a little rushed in making some decisions and coming off her line in the last game. So if we can get that part sorted out a little bit, defensively, if we can be a little better organized in front of her, then I think she's very capable of handling what they throw at us.
We'll see what's going to happen tonight when Nigeria face USA for international friendly. That will be the end of the summer series, WNT summer series taking place in the US. Okay, we'll leave the girls now. Hopefully they can get something out of it. And straight to the Euros. We'll start with the games of what happened last night. Cristiano Ronaldo, yes, of course, when you talk about him, he just knows how to put himself in a history book every time he steps on the field of play. Results from last night are not until the 84th minute before Portugal started scoring, beating Hungary by 3-0. And, of course, the second game of the night, which everyone was waiting for, France and Germany, ended 1-0. We'll start up with the game between Portugal and Hungary. Of course, we know where the game was going to go even before the whistle from the referee. For Cristiano Ronaldo, as usual, he was his usual self. Fernandez was his usual self. And for that game, what will you take away from it outside the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, he stole the show, and he did that towards the end of the game?
First off, I think that scoreline flatters Portugal tremendously. Easy to look at the scoreline and think that Portugal dominated the game. I thought it was very harsh, a very harsh result for Hungary. They just fell apart after Portugal scored the first goal. But before then, they were in the game. They were in the faces of the Portuguese. They gave as much as they got. They were very, very plucky, very solid. Even though the best chance of the first half, it must be said, fell to Cristiano Ronaldo and he failed to take it. It did look like the game was on a knife edge, especially towards the 70th minute when Portugal became kind of frantic. They weren't exactly as cohesive anymore. They were desperate for a goal and they were leaving gaps that it seemed like it was only a matter of time before Hungary were able to exploit. But once they got that breakthrough, which it must be said was a very, very lucky goal, took a wicked deflection. The initial shot would have been saved quite comfortably by the goalkeeper, the Hungarian goalkeeper. But the deflection took it way beyond him for 1-0. And from that point on, heads dropped, shoulders dropped. Hungary were there for the taking. Portugal smelled blood, and they went for the jugular. They created chance upon chance. Renato Sanchez went on a mazy run for the second goal, and it was a penalty. I think when the defender was clumsily brought down the Portuguese attacker in the box, and Ronaldo stepped up to put himself in the history books as the outright highest goal scorer in the history of the Euro Championships, over and above Michel Platini. But then it wasn't done yet. There was enough time for Ronaldo to sneak in on the right side of the penalty box, unattended to. He rounded the goalkeeper and tapped into an empty net for 3-0. Like I said, it wasn't a vintage Portuguese performance. They didn't look troubled either, but they didn't create so much in the game against this Hungarian side. And you look at the rest of the fixtures, they've got France, they've got Germany, and you feel like, yes, they have 3 goals and 3 points on the board, but if they must progress from this group, they have to raise their game rather a few notches higher against France and Germany, who I must admit were absolutely brilliant last night in that game. Yes, you can argue that it was a 1-0 game. There wasn't a lot of attacking, especially from Germany, but that was owing to the quality of France, which must be the best team in the world at this moment in time, with Rabiot, N'Golo Kante, Pogba in central midfield. It's always very difficult to create chances defensively. Kimpembe and Rafael Varane, the best maybe center back partnership in the world at the moment. There's 2 wing backs, and Pavard and Hernandez. The French have exactly kept this team from 3 years ago when they won the World Cup. Almost everyone who was in that particular starting 11 is still playing, maybe except for Karim Benzema that has just been brought in. So do not judge Germany by their performance against France that much. Yes, against Hungary and Portugal, that's when we will see the full measure of this German team, or the full quality of this German team. But I think that Portugal, like I said, will have to raise their game significantly to be able to stand a chance against those other 2 who played the second game yesterday, which for me maybe was overall not exactly the best game we've seen so far in the tournament, but in terms of the quality on show, individual players, the quality of the 2 teams, the way the game never really seemed done and dusted up until the final minute. France scored two goals that were deservedly ruled offside. Germany didn't really create much. But overall, you feel like that German team, aside the fact that they really don't have a ruthless finisher or a striker in the mold of a Benzema or a Giroud or even a Griezmann, they have enough quality in midfield, the Gundogans of this world, Serge Gnabry in wide attacking areas, Leroy Sané, who came in the second half yesterday, to still offer more than Portugal. So yes, you may say Portugal have done exactly what they did on their way to winning the last time. They qualified with just 3 points, if you remember, at Euro 2016 from the group stages, and they already have 3 points on the board. But they will have to go one better if they have to stand a chance to do better than Germany and France in this group. So you already have my top 2. It's France to finish first, Germany to finish second, Portugal in third place, Hungary, sadly. I like them, a spirited team, plucky team, very determined, organized team, but without a doubt, they're going to be the whipping boys of this group.
That's an interesting call. Germany and Portugal will be in action on Sunday, so we'll see what's going to happen in this game. And of course, Mats Hummels, he hasn't been with the team since 2018. He scored the winner. They knocked out France in 2014 World Cup when he scored that winner, coming back and scoring an own goal. We also have Karim Benzema back into the German squad. How will you rate this player's performance on the night?
I thought Hummels would be harshly judged if he was down to scoring an own goal. There was an inevitability about that goal. Brilliant ball over the top by Pogba. So Hernandez cut back across the face of goal. If Mats Hummels hadn't made contact, there was Mbappe on the back of him to knock into an empty. So it was unfortunately that the ball came that quickly to him, and before he could sort out his legs, the ball had hit him and ended up in the back of the net. But Hummels overall, I thought, wasn't exactly helped by his right back, because every time that's Joshua Kimmich, because every time he was isolated one-on-one against Kylian Mbappe, and that's probably the quickest football player in the world. You have Mats Hummels with all his bags of experience, of course, the mileage that he's racked up over the years, being isolated one-on-one against such a speed demon like Kylian Mbappe. There's always going to be one winner. overall, I thought that he did well. I think that Joachim Löw has made a brilliant call in bringing him and Muller back into the team. But like I said before, don't judge them based on what happened last night. There will be better days. They're not always going to play France. I thought overall, the only sort of criticism that I can put up against this German team is that maybe they just don't have a ruthless finisher. In Timo Werner, you know how Timo Werner's season went with Chelsea. It's still hit and miss. You don't have that ruthless finisher who strikes fear into the heart of the opposition. And Serge Gnabry is, yes, a ruthless finisher of chances, but he's not a typical striker. He's not a number 9. He prefers to play from the wings, from the wide areas, get into good positions, and finish when he does have chances. But when you have a team as solid as France in defense, France don't concede, they don't give too much away. It was always going to be difficult. But when they have an opposition that can run in behind, I'm sure that Germany will create more chances and they will score goals.
Okay, wait if Germany and, of course, France will be the ones that will get out of the group, and Cristiano Ronaldo, Portugal, defending champions, will have to go home if it happens like that. Let's leave that and quickly talk about the games for tonight. Wales will be up against Turkey, and, of course, you have the other game, which is Italy, which is, okay, let's start with Group A, Finland and Russia. Then where you have the other Group B. Okay. Back to where you have Turkey and Wales happens to be in Group A, Italy and Switzerland. Yes, that's Group A. And, of course, the Group B is Finland and Russia. Now, talking about Wales, they'll be in action tonight. Let's listen to the coach and also Gareth Bale talking ahead of the game, what they intend to do against Turkey to see how they can get 3 points.
We've got a game plan that we want to stick to. We've got a game plan that we think we can cause Turkey problems. Like I've said, any opposing manager that looks at that team sheet is going to respect what we've got out there, and they know that we're going to pose them a threat. So that's what we're fully focused on, is the game plan.
It's not about me stepping up, it's about the team stepping up. It's about us as a team. I think everyone always goes on about individual performances and individual this and that and the other, who scores, who does what. But the most important thing is we work hard collectively as a team. We defend, we attack, and we deliver together. I think I've said it all through my Wales career, whether I've been scoring or not, it doesn't matter who scores. Whoever does score, we celebrate together and we win together. I think everyone's too kind of driven by this kind of individual performances when you can't do anything without your teammates. So we're just purely focused on doing everything as a team together, working hard. We'll deal with the atmosphere together, and I'm sure we'll put in a great performance tomorrow.
Great performance. That's what Gareth Bale expects against Turkey. Turkey conceded 3 against Italy in their opening game. Bada, where would this game go for Wales? Of course, I mean, is a team that anytime you mention Gareth Bale, you expect him to always be the one to take charge. But somehow in the first game, he couldn't do that. But against Turkey, what should we expect from this Welsh team?
I think that the media sets this very unfair agenda against what is a solid team all round when they prop up one player as the alpha and the omega of the team. The Welsh team didn't arrive in that semi-final position last Euros just on the back of Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale didn't score all the goals. If anything, he didn't even make the team of the tournament. It was Aaron Ramsey who made the team of the tournament at that time. And on the evidence of how they played in their first game against Switzerland, you can tell that there is more to this Welsh team than Gareth Bale. And, whether or not he comes to the party, I fancy them against Turkey. I think that, the Welsh team is probably even more English than the English team. They play very direct. They make no pretensions or pretenses about it. They have genuine, ball players in midfield areas like Aaron Ramsey, like I said, and they've got speed demons like Manchester United's, the Manchester United guy, Dan James. In defense, they've got solid defenders who, from set-piece situations like we saw when they got their goal against Switzerland, can cause trouble. So, and the Turkish team, like you saw against Italy, they just didn't offer a lot. I don't see that quality, consistency, and intensity that is needed from a team that will beat Wales from this Turkish team. So, I mean, I can only see one winner in this one, and it's the Welsh, to be honest.
All right, we need to go on a break, but when we come back, we'll talk about what's going to happen between Italy and Switzerland. Italy, of course, won the opening game 3-0. All right, the other game for tonight we won't talk about is Italy and Switzerland. The Italians are just unbeatable right now, 9 consecutive victories without conceding a goal. And after that opening game against Turkey, it shows that they're one of the favorites for this tournament. But against Switzerland, yes, their opening game was a draw. They couldn't get a win. But what's going to happen tonight against the Italians, who are just fearless, scoring goals and not conceding?
As I said when we were doing the opening day review, is one of my favorite teams, if not outrightly my favorite team, maybe France. They're a very balanced team, a very difficult team to beat, like you said, and their record bears testament to how solid they are. No goal conceded in 9. Against the Swiss, they also have a very impressive head-to-head record. They won 4 and drawn 4. The Switzerland haven't beaten them in the last 8. The Switzerland team haven't beaten them in the last 8, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen tonight. I think the Italians are going to give themselves a big chance of advancing by getting something out of this game. The best Switzerland will get is a draw if they play up to their absolute best, which we didn't see against the Welsh team. We saw it in parts. The arrowhead head, I can't remember the guy's name now. Sorry?
Kefamo.
But I can't remember his name. The guy who led the attack. Yeah. Obviously looked sprightly, looked like a threat, but everything was going through him. Everything was going through him, and you expect Bonucci, Chiellini to take care of him. Those are, yes, advanced in age, but maybe the most, dependable central defensive partnership that you would find, and is the reason, or one of the big reasons why Italy aren't conceding goals. Left back Spinazzola was man of the match in the first game against Turkey. And it's Emerson Palmieri that should have been starting there. So that tells you the strength and depth of this Italian team, the sheer quality they have across the park, down the middle, the solidity, the creativity. Verratti didn't even get to feature in the first game. In attack, Ciro Immobile, who's been castigated and criticized, scored in the first game. His confidence is back on. Federico Chiesa, who for me is the next big thing for Italian football, couldn't even get a start. He came in from the bench. So this Italian team is pouring with so much quality. The Swiss, very workmanlike, very difficult to beat as well, it must be said. But the quality that this Italian team has got would require that Switzerland do something out of the ordinary. And I don't think that the Swiss just have it in them. Yeah, Jadon Shaqiri, have been involved in about 50% of goals they've scored in major competitions. But they don't appear to me like a team that will score the 2 or 3 goals needed to get past this Italian team. They are not going to shut out Italy. Italy will definitely score a couple of goals. And so for them to win, they need not just one, a couple. And, Stepanovic, the guy who played alongside Mbambo, I think, in attack, doesn't score enough goals. So, it's an Italy win for me without a doubt.
Okay, it's going to be easy. So Switzerland will have to wait. 28 games they played against 28 years. Yes, since they've been playing against Italy, they haven't managed to get a victory over there. It seems it's going to continue. Let's leave Euros now and football. Quickly touch down on boxing. I know you've been following the trilogy between Deontay Wilder and, of course, Tyson Fury. And the face-off started the campaign for that.
Because, the ruling was that Fury had to fight Wilder first. But then, if you look at just how keenly contested the last one was, I'm excited again just to see, Wilder given another opportunity. He had all kinds of excuses the last time. It was the weight of the costume. It was everything but himself. Let's see, what he does with the second chance that he's been afforded. But I think that Tyson Fury has got to be odds-on favorite to do it again. In his fighting technique, the power that he packs, his ability to stay in there enough or out and last distance and.
Okay. All right, Bada, I think we lost him there. We'll just call it off here. Bada, thank you so much for making our time to join me this morning.
Technically, he's like Djokovic.
Okay, I think Bada is still on.
Yeah, so I was saying that I'm looking forward to it. It should be another massive showdown between these two because, but I think that Tyson Fury is definitely the favorite.
And we can't wait. July 24th, that's when the fight will take place in Las Vegas. Thank you so much for taking our time to talk to me this morning.
Thanks, Cecilia.
All right, let's listen to both parties, what they are, looking forward to, because Tyson Fury says he wants to really take down Deontay Wilder again, who he feels that he's been quiet lately.
He doesn't want to answer any questions up here today.
Well, number one, he's very stubborn. You know what I mean? Even though he's rededicated his life and everything to the craft, he's very stubborn. But like most legends or like most gifted people, they have their things with them.
It shows how weak of a mental person he is, and how much of the beating from the last fight has took an emotional, physical effect on his life.
Well, Deontay Wilder, he put on his headphones. He did not answer any questions. Maybe he's going to do the talking in the ring on July 24th. We'll leave boxing and quickly come back home where the rescheduled game from the Nigeria Professional Football League, Enyimba and Rangers, will be in action today. So that's the big game to really watch out for today. Enyimba and Rangers International from Nigeria Professional Football League. That's a rescheduled game. And also, leaving that and quickly run through the most important league in Nigeria. That's the Nigeria National League. We start off with the games for today. A1, starting with Sokoto United and Mighty Jet to be in action. Rarara FC and Taraba will also be in action. Oyo Sports and Economy Warriors will be in action. NAF and EFCC. In A2, you have Zamfara United and Shakarau, Yobe Desert Stars and Kogi United, Kebbi United and ABS, Malumfashi and Niger Tornadoes will also be in action. DMD and Road Safety, another game for today. Moving over to B1, where you have Vandreza and Osun United in action. Nnewi United and Ekiti United. Nilayo Sports and Rovers will be in action. Delta Force and Giant Brillers, another game. Dynamite Force and Go Round FC. And you have 3SC and Stationary Stores. And moving over to B2, in the Southern Conference, Bender Insurance and Apex Crane, Gateway United and Remo Stars, Holy Arrows and Ibom Youth, Abia Comet and FC1 Rocket, and Bayelsa United and Godoski United are the games to watch out for in the Nigeria National League 2020 and 2021 season. From that, papers quickly starts with Complete Sports here. And in Complete Sports, you have this one, Umar Sadiq can become Eagles star player. That's according to Tijani Babangida. If he's saying that, so he knows what he's talking about. Aribo Balogun begin title defense July 31. That's the host Rangers talking about the Scottish League. We also have Sporting Sun here. Super Eagles may drop to 5th place behind Algeria and Morocco. That's a FIFA ranking in Sporting Sun here. And before we go quickly, have the English Premier League fixtures is already out. So some mouth-watering fixtures are starting in, because you're going to be having Tottenham and Manchester City headlining that. Brentford and Arsenal also headlining. Chelsea, Crystal Palace headlining. And you have Everton and Southampton, but the big one, everyone, Manchester United and Leeds United, Tottenham, and of course, Manchester City is headlining the fixtures for the English Premier League. Well, thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a fantastic day.